Charlie, how's everything?
Very well. I mean, yeah. Once we are alive, we're grateful. We give thanks.
Yes,
we don't take it for granted. The gifts
I'm telling you
that God bestows on us to count us among the living each day. I mean, you might not value it, but trust me, it shouldn't be taken for granted at all.
At all.
There's nothing special about you.
No, there isn't. That's the amazing thing.
It's just the grace.
You can easily be deluded into thinking that you're all fancy and special and all that, but
you're not. Don't be deceived. Don't get it twisted at all. I mean, nobody saw a cloud on God's death coming. It's not like anybody prepares for death.
Yeah, no, we don't.
Right?
We don't.
Just a few weeks ago, she was so vociferous at the IPAS meeting.
Yes, I remember.
We heard her threatening to sue.
Yeah.
And then we go to sleep one day, wake up, and she's no more. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't take the gift of being counted among the living for granted at all.
Absolutely.
But it's good to be here, and it's good to be doing this with you. Interesting stories, as expected, of course, making the rounds in the dailies. I'll start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper.
Right.
The major story has to do with the Boko issue. You'd expect that I will run through a number of the stories, the dailies this morning. Graphic captures it this way. It says, government urges ceasefire in Boko, imposes curfew, deploys security. It comes with a picture of Stephen Asamoah Boateng, the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, who actually addressed the media yesterday regarding the situation in Boko. When you go to the top left-hand corner of the Daily Graphic, it has to do with education, and it says 447,698 students placed into senior high schools and other institutions. Overturn your ruling, Speaker asks Supreme Court. Obviously, this is coming from the vacancy in Parliament.
Yeah.
And then you have government PSWU sign 3 conditions of service agreements, also stemming from that industrial action by the Public Services Workers Union. That does it for the front page of the Daily Graphic. But if you jump quickly to the back page, you have UTAG calls of strike over Galamsey. Comes with a picture of the UTAG president, Mahmoud A. Akudugu. So that's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper.
All right. I'll take you to the Ghanaian Times. Now, on the front page, it says, Mahama calls for truce in Boko conflict. Ghana's vigilante groups increase from 27 to 72.
Wow.
Yes, a security expert is saying, I will bring us the details of that story a bit later. And this is after we've outlawed and banned vigilante groups. We've rather grown from
more.
Yeah, grown from 27 from 27 to 72. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but over the weekend there was an event close to my place, and there was a bunch of guys running security for the event.
Right.
And on the inscription on their
uniform
was Delta Forces Security. I thought it was interesting.
Well, I mean, perhaps there's a properly incorporated security company called Delta Forces
Security.
Yeah, we never know. I mean, it's for us to find out.
Yeah. So stop politicizing Boko conflict, as Asamoah Boateng admonishes politicians. And Boko under curfew following a deadly chieftaincy clash. And this is what we have for the front page of the paper. The back page says, phase out overage electrical appliances. The Ghana Science Association is calling on the government. And of course, we know that overage impacts on energy usage and energy draw on our systems too. So that's important. And enhance leap effectiveness to combat poverty and hunger. This is a message from UNICEF. Okay, so that's what we have.
All right, I'll jump into the Chronicle newspaper. Lands Commission officers charged with money laundering. $3 billion is lost to graft in Ghana annually. This is according to Crusaders Against Corruption. Wow. $3 billion lost to graft.
Whoa.
So our misappropriations, the corrupt schemes, the underhand dealings and all that. $3 billion USD. How much did we go to the IMF for again?
That's the same amount.
And we are losing same annually to corruption.
Charlie, if we manage the resources, we won't need to borrow.
Exactly. If we tighten the ropes, there's proper fiscal discipline. There's proper public financial management. We won't have to borrow. It's sad when we hear some of these things, but anyway, iRisk celebrates prestigious ranking at Ghana Club 100, and injunction notice filed against funeral of Nyamfeku Nyeku II. Okay, that's it for the Chronicle this morning.
Let me take you to the Daily Guide. On the front page of the Daily Guide, we have Ekriadonko dead. I'm sure the Daily Guide missed the initial story.
Most of the papers had already gone to press when the news broke out, so I'm sure that's how come.
Bawumia is my ideal successor. But you know, it's interesting, in the democratic practice, there's nowhere where a sitting president nominates a successor.
Oh, I don't think it was a direct nomination as
well,
such. That's why he's qualified it.
Ideal. My ideal.
Exactly. So
successor.
it is a want, a wish. You understand? Not an imposition. A want and a wish, not necessarily an imposition.
Reverse decision on vacant seats, Speaker to Supreme Court. Don't politicize Boko conflict, Chieftaincy Minister speaking here. And Veep shakes Accra. So that's what we have on the front page of the Daily Guide.
All right, let me jump to Larry Dogbe's The Herald, and he says names of EC officials on America's watch list out. Okay, that should be an interesting read.
Oh, wow.
Confusion of Boko conflict murders as state security personnel sleep on job despite 6 million Ghana cedis monthly cash. Mahama questions Bawumia on 17 cedis to $1 and 767 billion Ghana cedis debts. Bawumia predicts December triumph, cites fulfilled campaign promises. NAPO spokesperson denies ethnocentric remarks against Ewe and Ga people. And when you jump to page 10, you find highlights of both the NDC and MPP manifestos on fiscal policy and digital economy. That's it for the Herald.
So, you know, the politicians are doing this sort of thing where it's like, you know, when you're on the, when we're kids and then you're on the, somebody is threatening to fight you and then you're on the park and then it's like, you're only trading insults and not even trading insults, but challenges, throwing challenges to the other side, and yet nobody ever throws a blow, right? So we have questions, a set of questions are coming. You to answer the question, you to answer the question. This is what the people are doing to us. So
you should have listened to Eyewitness News yesterday with Umaru Sanda Amadu on City 97.3.
When Basitali
and Dennis Miracles Abuaji. It was quite interesting listening to the two gentlemen. So that one camp is saying that, well, if you're going to set questions for me, meet me officially in a debate, and I'll provide all the answers you want. The other two are saying that, well, you have performed so abysmally, you're not worth a debate. Me coming to a debate with you is bringing you up to my level.
Anyway, Republic Press, Akufo-Addo assures free, fair elections. Buckling sounds alarm on parliamentary disregard. We have Otunfo to lead mediation efforts in Boko conflict. 5 suspects, including military officer, granted bail in Dutch kidnapping case. We have Rock City Hotel screens over 200 women for breast cancer launches. It's supposed to say launches blood donation exercise. And heavy rains leave Mankasim and Nafo residents homeless. Mankasim and Nafo residents homeless. All right, so that's what we have for the Republic Press.
The new publisher this morning has Natoshi speaking, and she says Bawumia is a unifying figure for Christians and Muslims. That's according to Natoshi. Car falls in river, kills 5. That's quite a sad one. I understand there was the Owabi River.
Yes, the Owabi River.
That's quite sad.
But you see, again, it raises a lot of questions. because I saw how the rescuers, the car hadn't totally submerged.
Okay.
Right. From the image, the videos that we saw, the car hadn't totally submerged. But the rescue effort, bringing out the people to shore, nobody involved there knows how to, apply CPR, any of those things, first aid, any of those things that you would typically do, right? Yeah. Because you have water in the lungs, water in the stomach. Yeah. There's a way to pump. And you can actually push the water out. And in some cases, if not all, you may get some recoveries. Exactly. Right? But if you don't know what to do, the people are going to die. Yeah. You know, so it speaks a lot to the efforts we need to make
at educating our people on first aid, CPR, and all that. I mean, you can extend the conversation to accident scenes and how rescue efforts are made at accident scenes. Sometimes people
desperately dragging people's bodies out of vehicles, and sometimes you are
actually causing more injury.
Causing more harm.
You're causing more harm. Yeah. Sometimes people question why others will stand by and
look on without doing something.
But then
it's not everything that you just jump in and do something.
Exactly. So maybe we need to intensify education on first aid, rescue efforts, and of course how to perform CPR.
I think that what is done in a lot of places is all schools have some simple, basic first aid training. You see, because if you start as a kid, it's there. You're like, okay, we learned this. Let's apply what we learned now, right? And it helps.
Anyways, there's a final one here that says iRisk earns prestigious ranking at Ghana Club 100. Wrapping it up for the new publisher this morning.
I'll take you to the Ghanaian publisher. Ghanaian publisher says Bawumia confident of victory. We have. He pledges a monthly stipend for chiefs. Okay, that's an interesting one. I'm sure the basis for that will probably be in the story, so you can go to read that later. Stop politicizing Boko crisis. Chieftaincy Minister again speaking.
Which is very important.
Yeah. Critical, very critical. At this point, we cannot, get into that space of doing politics with it. ADB records 3.4 billion Ghana cedi growth deposit growth, and FDA trains disease surveillance officers on food safety. This is coming on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher.
The Informer newspaper this morning says CID boss hot. AG advised to take over case. Now, this case has to do with the forged last will and testament of the late Alhaji Salia Abdullahi. Okay. To reduce monthly cost, Ghana to import oil from Nigeria. NPA boss hence comes with a picture of Dr. Mustafa Hamid, the NPA boss. Now, in this issue, Ghana mourns Equia Donko.
Okay.
Bawumia shakes OT, promises equal opportunities for all. At Ghana Club 100 Awards, KGL Group wins big. Vacant seats brouhaha. Speaker flexes muscle, throws out Supreme Court's writs. Okay, that's it for the Informer newspaper.
Okay. The Inquisitor, which is my final paper here, says late Alhaji Salia's forged will case. Wahala for CID, in quotes, big man. Scrap ex gratia for 8th Parliament, deny MP salaries. This is Kokofu, Henry Kokofu speaking there. Napo has not denigrated any tribe, calling it fake news. Okay. Get Fund boss clarifies E-Block's controversy, and Mahama gives Bawumia 5 questions to answer. All right, so that is in the Inquisitor.
The New Independent says Alan to shake Greater Accra with another Afrafranto mega victory walk on November 2. Strengthening Parliament is key to safeguarding democracy. This is the Speaker, Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagbin, speaking there. Samira's mother's name pops up in court in contempt case over East Legon demolition. Huakbo chief and elders rebut claims of National Libation Day event held on their land. And this one says, your high moral values are in line with our unlaw tradition, Keta chiefs to Bawumia. That's it for the New Independent newspaper
All
this
right.
morning.
Let's before we delve into some stories, let me just take you to citynewsroom.com and ChannelOneNews.com. Right. We have on ChannelOneNews.com, 24-hour economy requires a long-term plan, not quick fix. Okay, this is coming from ISER. Okay, we have here election 2024. I am the Messiah who can transform Ghana. Vote for me. This is the LPG's Kofi Akbalu. Okay, speaking to Umari Sanda
on face-to-face.
Face-to-face,
right.
yeah. The constituency, Mahama failed to deliver for Asin Central MPP's Ameniampong. And we have again from the constituency last night, fix our deteriorating roads, Asin Fosu drivers tell government. I'll give you one more on ChannelOneNews.com. Again from the constituency, everything shows NDC will win Asin Central. Shaibu Mijima speaking there. CityNewsroom.com has these headlines here. It says, be a man and debate me, Baumia replies Mahama with 50 questions. Yes. So there was
initially
there was initial 170.
And then Mahama comes with 5.
Yes.
And now Baumia replies with 50. Baumia has got questions.
I won't say what I'm thinking in my head. Anyway.
Keep it to yourself.
Chief Justice shuts down courts in Upper East over Boko conflict. I'll win December polls. Forget NDPP's large following. Akpalu. So somehow he's sure that regardless of the large following that we see, he, without those large followings, will win.
Right. Agronifem.
Yes, agronifem. So that's how it is. Yeah. The last one here is that I want to give you. It says the next NDC government will prioritize reconstruction of markets. This is Prof. Opoku Ajiman, the running mate for the NDC.
All right. So quickly, let's take a look at some of the stories. I'll start off from the Daily Graphic and its major story from today. Government urges ceasefire in Boko. Imposes curfew, deploys security. Stories written by Donald Ato Dapatem. The government has called on all the people in the Boko chieftaincy conflict to lay down their arms and cease firing at one another. The Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, who made the call, reiterated the government's commitment to take all necessary measures to ensure the safety and security of the residents of Boko and its environs. Addressing a news conference in Accra yesterday, Mr. Asamoah Boateng said security agencies had been directed to enforce the curfew strictly and maintain law and order. He added that the government was guided by its responsibility to protect lives and property, and above all to enforce law and order to restore normalcy as quickly as possible. Quote, residents are therefore urged to comply with the directive and to cooperate fully with the security agencies to restore peace and normalcy in the area, end quote. The minister appealed. So yes, yesterday the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, addressed the media, called for a ceasefire, urged the feuding factions to restrain themselves. He had also a swipe at the politicians to avoid politicizing the matter. But from the statement that came, I think 3 days back, that announced the curfew, and from the minister's own admission yesterday during the press conference, it's clear government knows that it's the presence of Seydou Abagre in Boko that has resurrected all this. But what I was expecting the minister to say was measures to, engage Mr. Seydou Abagre on whether or not he is still to stay in Boko or otherwise to help reduce the tensions. But quite smartly, he evaded questions surrounding that. it is a court that has lifted the warrant off him.
Yeah.
And so he can obviously make an appearance in Boko. But for the sake of peace, what is the level of engagement with Mr. Seydou
I agree with you, 100%.
and of course the other feuding factions? Because we can't also restrict his movement. No. He's entitled to be there.
Yeah.
You understand? So at least there should be some jaw-jawing going on to bring some...
But you see, if his presence triggers this level of confusion and uproar and all of that, then maybe even his own life is at stake. For his own occasion, maybe he needs to, to stay away.
Exactly.
Do you see? So some of these things, you need to apply a great amount of wisdom to it. Yes, I'm sure there's emotional connection to the place. Yeah. There's a feeling when people are there and all of those things. But for the greater good, government needs to step in and take some decisions on this. Anyway, we're going to look at this story from the Ghanaian Times. It says here, Ghana's vigilante groups increased from 27 to 72. Okay, now the number of vigilante groups operating in the country has increased from 27 to about 72 as captured under the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act 2019. A security analyst, Dr. Anam Bona, has indicated, according to him, most of these groups were no longer operating as vigilante groups as they had changed to become registered private security agencies. Wow. Remember what I was mentioning earlier? This is an interesting revelation. I mean, I didn't know this. But I said many of them, according to him, most of these groups were no longer operating as vigilante groups as they had changed to become registered private security agencies, while some serve as escorts for political parties, which made it difficult to identify them. Dr. Bona has therefore called on the Minister of National Security, Mr. Albert Kandapa, to investigate their operations and ensure that the leaders of those groups were arrested and prosecuted. Okay, he made this call at the second Democratic Lectures series held in Accra on Monday and organized by Care for Free and Fair Elections Ghana, a civil society organization in partnership with the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, and as FES. And it was on the theme Ghana's democratic development, assessing the implementation of the Vigilantism and Related Offences Act of 2019. That's Act 999 for ensuring peaceful December 2024 elections. So, yeah,
so they are
he mentioned a number of groups. They're legitimizing their existence. You see, so instead of disbanding, they are rather entrenching by taking the legal route. That's a problem.
It is a problem, but if we're able,
because you can
to
always claim
operations
to deploy security.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Once you claim that you deployed security, you can no longer call on vigilantism because it's a registered security company. But you're right. I mean, we have to monitor and control
their operations and activities.
Yeah.
Anyways, interesting times as the elections approach. We wait to see what happens. Just a quick one on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Overturn your ruling. Speaker asks Supreme Court. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbane, has filed an application asking the Supreme Court to overturn the stay of execution it granted in respect of the Speaker's ruling that declared 4 seats in Parliament vacant. The Speaker is further seeking an order from the court to set aside the writ filed by the leader of the New Patriotic Party, NPP caucus, Alexander Penyomarkin, which sought to prevent the Speaker from making any ruling on the 4 seats. In the application filed at the Apex Court last Monday by his lawyer, Thaddeus Sori, the Speaker contends that the Supreme Court misapplied the law by putting on hold the execution of his ruling because it was a non-judicial decision.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
A lot
thank
in
you,
the
David.
news. I'm going to delve into a few more stories during the news review segment as well. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
All right. Well,